Joey stuck the note in his back pocket as loud as possible when Vanessa was walking back into the room. Somehow Vanessa did not hear all of that rattling paper going into his back pocket. What's up, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers? I'm gonna start today with some news that I have reached my limit with the patience for this show, so I can no longer watch live every day. I've been watching live every day for the past year. I don't have it in me anymore until these storylines improve, so I do want to give a shout out to my watch along crew that has been watching along with me some of the past couple of months. Not saying I might not pop up from time to time doing a live watch along, but in general, I don't have it in me to watch the show live every single day. It is too slow and boring, I fear. So I did want to say that I will still be giving reviews every single day that I can, though, just maybe at different times. I'm going to still try and stay around the same time of posting these videos. Let's talk about today's episode. We had Sharon and Tracy visit Anita to surprise her. They've been touring together. They discussed how Devon Winters from The Young and the Restless had that offer where they can go back to the studio and drop some beats because that's the plan, to get Barbara's voice out there. Vernon, I guess, called Devon for them when they were having a discussion today and set up the studio date, which will be after Anita officially finishes treatment. That was kind of all from that storyline today. Naomi and Jacob discussed how Naomi is feeling. She is still considering the surgery, the double mastectomy. She asked if Jacob is really on board and about how she decides to handle this. Jacob says that he just wants to make sure Naomi is healthy and happy. They end up meeting with Monica to discuss this, and Monica talked about the BRCA gene and said that it elevates the risk, but it doesn't mean that Naomi will get cancer for sure. Naomi does want to eliminate the risk altogether. Jacob had some concern because of Kat's reaction to the anesthesia for surgery, asking if that could happen to Naomi. And then Naomi learned that she could also, and maybe should also, get a hysterectomy too, which upset Jacob because he might still want a kid, which Naomi called him out on, saying that Jacob is only not down with this because he's still wishing that, or hoping that, she will change her mind about having kids. Monica just wants Naomi and Jacob, and Naomi especially, obviously it's her body, to take time making this decision. But again, I feel like half of this episode was dominated by health storylines again. It's just been 7 months of cancer, and that's why I am tapping out of watching live every day. They've gone too far. This show's pacing is truly one of the worst I've ever seen on a soap opera. Hayley and Randy met up today. He doesn't want to keep being summoned by her because he says he does have a job with Joey. She said she owed him an apology. She should have had more faith in the poison. Told Randy that Bill is in a hospital bed. Randy asks Hayley if she thinks that this is it for Bill, and she says that Bill's condition continues to deteriorate and he could be knocking on death's door. But Randy doesn't want her to get too happy yet because, I guess, according to Randy, Bill has not had enough poison yet to drop dead. Even after 9 months, I guess. According to Randy, Bill should still be nowhere near dying, which to me, again, is just the pacing problem with this show. If you're going to do a poisoning storyline and you're not going to be able to keep it interesting, which they have not been able to keep it interesting for many months now, then you should have the poison be a little quicker or give a twist to the story really, really soon. Randy also said that since Bill's doctor is Madison, who is his future daughter-in-law, she could have a bigger interest in digging deep enough to find the toxins, although Randy says that the toxin is undetectable for normal routine screenings, but I guess there could be tests that could find this toxin allegedly. Sometimes I just want to believe that Randy is bullshitting Hayley like a lot of commenters sometimes think, that Randy just isn't even giving Hayley a real drug. That would be an explanation as to why the storyline is being way too drug out. Bill was about to leave the hospital today when Madison and Chelsea arrived. He said he's going to work. He's discharged himself. And Madison, even though Madison is his doctor right now, she can't physically force him to stay, but advised him against leaving. Chelsea asked what Hayley thought about all this, but Bill just overruled Chelsea's concern. Chelsea then called Hayley to let her know Bill discharged himself, which was good news for Hayley because that means there will not be more tests done on Bill to dig deeper into what could be the problem. Hayley then went to go see Bill at work, wanting to make a compromise about his health. Hayley wants them to get into the best shape of their lives with nutrition and weight training and cardio. And Bill seemingly agreed to this. Trash and Grandpa Gangster were unfortunately on today, and she brought this box that she found in the garage that belonged to Doug's. And I guess Vanessa didn't care enough to open the box herself. So when Vanessa went to go do some cooking, Joey decided to open the box, and inside was Banneker stuff and old athletic stuff, I guess, of Doug's. But then there was this note and letter that said, "in the event of my death." So Joey, of all people, conveniently somehow is able to find this note that Doug left behind that has apparently still been in Vanessa and Doug's house all this time. So Joey reads the note late. Well, at first, actually, Joey stuck the note in his back pocket as loud as possible when Vanessa was walking back into the room. Somehow Vanessa did not hear all of that rattling paper going into his back pocket. And then Deanna called Vanessa, she's still working for Vanessa, and asked Vanessa out for a bite to eat. So when Vanessa left, that's when Joey read the note. And it talked about, it was from Doug, that he would never willingly leave the earth or his family. And it blamed Joey for his death. And it told everything about what Joey did, talked about Joey even setting up Kenny's death, and said that his death would have been set up and done at the hands of Joey Armstrong if he were to end up dead. So again, Grandpa Gangster conveniently finds this note that's, I guess, been sitting around this whole time. This was another decision for me today to stop watching the show live, because it will almost be 2 years since Doug died, and we've made no progress on this actual storyline. And I think that is truly another example of the absolute shit pacing of this show. You know, even the greats, the great soap opera writers of the past, Bill Bell, he had some very slow storytelling. But at least, first of all, his storylines were better most of the time. Not always. I've seen some cloggers over on the Patreon, even though I have not been updating. Sorry to anyone that's on the Patreon. I've been busy. This past 2 months have not been great for the Patreon. Sometimes I want to just close it down, but if people are interested in old soap operas, I will continue. However, like I was saying, even Bill Bell, who had very slow pacing, it was not this fucking slow for a storyline like this. There would at least be, and if it was this slow, there would at least be plot points that would come up every so often, so it actually feels like the story is moving. The only thing to happen in this story that has been different over the past 10 months that this storyline has been going on is Deanna. And yet still, that really hasn't moved the storyline along in 10 months. Joey had an assignment for Randy. He wants Randy to see if Doug keeps important documents anywhere else and doesn't want Vanessa to know that that's what Randy is doing. Joey worried that Doug could have another note like this somewhere. Trash met with Deanna. They discussed Deanna's knack for being a realtor. Deanna apologized for the grief she put Vanessa through with her own grief for Doug's death, but she's ready to be close to Vanessa again. She's also continuing to try and have a new attitude with Joey. Deanna wanted to plan this dinner with her, Donnell, Vanessa, and Joey, which Vanessa returned to tell Joey about. Joey didn't want to do it at first, but of course Vanessa was able to eventually convince Joey to do so, just so Vanessa can praise Joey for being such a good man. I'm so beyond tired of any trash and grandpa gangster scenes. Deanna texted Donnell to come to dinner, who then called her with concern that she wants to have dinner with Joey, especially since Donnell can't make it. But Deanna is fine with doing this herself tonight. Then Deanna sees Ghost Doug, which is this show's answer to this storyline. Here's Ghost Doug. Instead of making Doug still alive, which sure, I guess could have been the obvious decision, but it was the obvious decision because that was the only way to fix this absolutely terrible storyline. But instead, now we have Deanna seeing Doug's ghost yet again, and she talks about how she wants to nail Joey by herself. But, Casper the friendly ghost doesn't want Deanna to go in too hot with Joey, says that she has to play Joey very carefully. And then our episode ends with Joey rereading the note and remembering Doug threatening to go to Jacob, and then Joey burned the note, and thus that was today's episode, where it feels like yet another episode out of many in this past week and a half where not a lot of storylines moved. They will do one thing. Like, this is what the show does because they don't know how to fucking write storylines or pace them properly. Is something will happen that has already happened. Oh my God, Bill has a setback with his health. Is the poison actually moving? Oh no, he's out of the hospital the next day. But here, the poison storyline's still going. Here's a reminder. We're making no progress in this storyline, but here's a reminder. Same thing with this Doug shit today. Joey's the one that happens to find this note, so then he can burn the note by the end of the episode. This is our reminder. Yeah, Joey did kill Doug. This storyline is going nowhere, and Joey still doesn't look like he's going to pay anytime soon because Deanna might be crazy because she's seeing her father's ghost. I'm tired of it. This show is very, very tired.